Hi my peeps in YouTube land, this is Material Girl 338. As you see, I have an abundance of tomatoes again. I must have planted maybe about 40 or 50 plants. And I really wanted to grow tomatoes. So, they're coming in early and I planted them early. So now, my husband and I want to go away for a couple of days, and we just are not sure like what to do with the tomatoes. Last year we went away, we went to Maine, Booth Bay Harbor, and I had a whole bushel, I think, of tomatoes, and I ended up giving them to my neighbor. So this year I want to preserve them, and these are ripe. These are really ready to go. So what I'm thinking is, I'm starting to cut them. What I'm thinking is, what I could do is, because I'm making some sun-dried tomatoes outside, but what I'm thinking to do is cut them up and cook them. Like I have another video on how to make fresh tomato sauce, and I'm going to cook them and let it cool, put it in a Ziploc bag, and then freeze it. And then when I want tomato sauce, it's already done. So I think that's the best thing for me right now. So I have, these are the round tomatoes, and I have the plum tomatoes and the Roma tomatoes, but those are not ripe yet. So I'm not sure, like, you know, what to do with the Romas, but I think basically, well, the Romas, I actually wanted to jar them. I wanted to put them in the, you know, canning them, but it's so hot here that nobody wants to do anything. Especially you don't want to put an oven on or, you know, keep the stove because you heat the house up. So what I do is, this is a grapefruit knife, and I just cut the core out of the tomato. And this is a beautiful, beautiful, I think it's a beefsteak. I bought so many varieties, and I planted them, you know, together, like 2 different varieties per pot. So, and this is so beautiful. Look at, I mean, look at the color of this. And I'm just gonna cut it because I have to put it in a big pot. And I have another video where I show you how to make the fresh tomatoes, and it doesn't take long. So this is an easy process, and you can preserve it this way. You can also preserve it doing the fermented cherry tomatoes. And because I bought those lids, and I have a video, because I bought the nipple lid, it's easy. It's easy to burp them, so you don't have to sit here and you don't have to babysit it. So that's a good thing, because I mean, if you want to go away for a couple of days and you just want to, you know, make sure that your fermenting is okay, that's a perfect lid. And I have everything under, what am I doing? I have everything under like a glass dish, because they burp, the lids burp themselves. They're self-burping lids. And you don't want to get that salt, you know, on your furniture, because it'll eat up your furniture. So, I mean, this is a beautiful tomato. And it smells, I wish you could smell it. It's so fresh. So, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this part. I'm going to cut them. And this one is a little damaged here. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that piece off. And then I'll show you the next step, but I've already have a video out of me making fresh tomato sauce. So I just want, this will be just a quick video on me preparing them and telling you ways to preserve your tomatoes, because a lot of ladies are doing canning, and the experienced canners, you know, they really know what to do with their tomatoes, but I'm like stumped. So I'm thinking this, I'll make the tomato sauce, the fresh tomato sauce, and then I'll freeze it. Why not? I mean, I freeze everything else, so why not this? And then when I make it, I'll make a video, see how it tastes. Okay? Thanks, everybody. Okay, everybody. Now what I did was I cut the tomatoes, and, you know, they're already cleaned. And this is a big pot. Not, you know, giganda, but it's big. So I didn't add no oil, no garlic, no nothing. What I think I want to do is I just added a little bit of water for the bottom of the pot so the tomatoes don't stick. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cook down the tomatoes. Once I cook them down, I'm going to let it cool and then put it in my containers, and then I'm going to freeze it. When I'm ready to make the sauce, I have fresh tomatoes that are, you know, in the freezer instead of like it would be in a can, right? So the only thing I think I'll throw in here is a basil leaf. That's it, a couple of basil leaves. And then I'll show you, if I remember, the finished sauce. Okay? All right. All right, everybody. I have been letting this cook, maybe about 25 minutes the most. And I have it on medium heat. And to speed it up, because it's so hot here in New Jersey, I'm going to do my immersion blender. But I don't want to make soup. I just want to, you know, just crush them up a little bit. So, sorry, I gotta move the camera. I want like a crushed tomato. And you can see it's watery, right? But when I make the sauce, that will get thick. And sometimes if you sauce, your tomatoes are too watery like this is, when you're making the sauce, you can add paste, like a teaspoon of paste, 2 teaspoons, or whatever you think, until you see, like, see now this is like soup. So just a little bit more, and then, you know, that's how you thicken your sauce up. I know I'm moving the camera. All right. So, this is going to cook a little bit. And then once it cooks a little bit more, I'm going to bring it to a boil, let it boil. And then let it cool down. I'm going to put it in containers. Or I'll put it in a Ziploc bag, depending on how much room I have in my freezer. And that should be good. Okay. Okay, guys, this is what I did. I cooked the tomatoes in the pot. This is another batch. And they were, you know, a little watery. So, and then I started to put them into a container, and I would have needed a lot of containers. So I said, you know what? Let me can them. So I went upstairs, took out my big canner, and I was able to make, I don't want to open this, it's hot. I was able to make, I'm not going to open it because I don't want the steam to escape. I think about 5 quarts with the tomatoes that I had. So I'm going to lower this a little bit. So I want to keep that rolling boil. So I was able to make 5 quarts, and then I said, let me go through the rest of the tomatoes that I have. So this is what I'm doing in 88-degree weather. My air conditioner is on. I'm making a lot of steam, but I needed to preserve them. So that's what I'm doing. When it finishes, I'll show you the finished product. Okay, my friends, originally, when I started the video, I was going to boil the tomatoes, and I was going to freeze them. I did 1 batch already. When I blended it, and I used the immersion blender, and originally I added a little bit too much water. You can't hear me, I have the vent on. I had the water. I had a little bit of water into the pan. It made it very juicy. And then I used the immersion blender, so that became too juicy. But I salvaged them because I'm jarring them right now. Okay, so that's going to jar. And I was able to make about 5 quarts. With this, maybe about two quarts. And this is the jarring has to I do it 60 minutes, but then I do 60 minutes with a rolling boil. So this way I'm just sure that they are sealed. And I use TATTLER lids. I don't know if you guys know about TATTLER lids. They are really good lids, and I'll show it to you. Because I was going through lids like water. So these are the TATTLER lids. They come with the ring. They come with the ring. And then they come with different sizes. This is the small mouth jar. And then these are the wide jar. And then all you do is put these in hot water so you soften them a little bit. And then you screw it onto the jar. You know, do like you normally do. You screw them onto the jar, and then you loosen it a little bit. And then I put them into my canner or your water bath. So when I do that, once it completes the cycle of the water bath, I leave it alone. Let the water cool down. It may take 24 hours. Let the water cool down. I keep the cover on. I do not disturb it. And then it seals. It pulls a vacuum and it seals it. Every once in a while, like 1 or 2 lids don't work. I did watch this video of this man. Because TATTLER told them to, can it and then take the canner out, take the jar out, and then put the jar on the counter, and then just loosen it a little bit. And when he did that, it exploded. And he showed this video. It's on YouTube. I don't know if I have it. If I do have it, maybe I'll put the link if I remember. But it was very, very dangerous to do that. So what I said was, I'm going to just heat the lids up, put them on the jar, put them in my canner, and then leave them alone. Let it process, and then whatever doesn't close or seal, I'm going to just put it in the refrigerator, and I'm going to eat what's remaining. Because the other way is just too dangerous. To take the jar out of the water, put it on the counter, and then disturb the lid. So now this is done. So I'm not ready yet to put this into the canner because I'm doing one process. When I'm ready for that, we'll do the next video. Okay, this is the tomato sauce, fresh, that I froze. I did 2 batches. And one batch I jarred, I canned. And this one, we took more tomatoes off the plant yesterday around the house. And I just cooked them down a little bit. There's nothing in there except basil. And I froze it. When I want to make my sauce, just defrost it and put it, saute garlic and oil. And I have another video that shows you exactly how to make a sauce. So you can watch that video and you get the gist of fresh tomato sauce. Okay, and then if you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you have any comments, please post them below. I do interact with my YouTubers. And if you subscribe to my channel, I always have new and exciting videos coming up. And I'm basically gearing into the way of preserving foods, because that is the utmost important thing right now, because of the flooding that's happened in the Midwest. Our grains are affected, our cattle was affected, and the feed to feed the cattle is affected. So thank you guys, and I look forward to making more videos. Everybody have a great week or great day. Bye.